Hello and welcome back. It's been a long time since my last video. In today's episode, as you saw by the title, we're gonna wrap up the power plant. I have been busy outside the live streams to actually build it, and I built a kind of decent building in my opinion. Ta-da! That's the building that the power generation is actually made up. And we also have the trouble of the farm not being completely made. You can see here we have a lot of holes of the farm because sometimes the farm harvests the blocks instead of just the pumpkin itself. So this one is very damaged. But let's take a look here outside the power plant itself first. We have here solar panels to feed the machines inside it. Let's go around to take a better look. And I found out that if I go into the settings and place the shadow quality to medium, it actually fixes the trouble with the lights being too bright or too dark. But this slowed down my gaming quite a bit. Let's go to the refining area. As you can see here, everything here is actually very busy. This is the setup we had before, with a steel rack to receive the pumpkin, the mixer to make the organic pieces, split to have some extra, a macerator to turn into dusty, and the water washer to make biomass and give us more dirty than when we use it. Since I need the organic pieces to make more farms, it's better to me to have a way to passively produce it. Even though going out into the world is the actually faster option. And on the other side we have the compact version that is only to produce biomass. We have a mixer here to make the organic pieces, attached to a macerator to make the dust, and another mixer to mix dust with water and make biomass. And this one give the exactly amount of dirty that is consumed to make it. So this is a closed system. I have made this setup into the side here and the same setup into the other side. Even though probably just one of the sides could work on itself, this is not much of a deal for now. They produce the biomass that is stored into this tank here, and then you have here 3 fermenters that are gonna turn that biomass into methane fluid that go into this little tank here that is full. Then it arrive into this electrolyzer to turn the methane into hydrogen, which have a better burning value than methane itself. As you can see, methane only is 16 by itself, but hydrogen is actually the double of it. So we just use steam power to almost double the amount of the power we get from before. And it is stored here. It goes up there to be generate power. But this produces carbon, unfortunately. So I made a little system here with a furnace to burn the carbon into heat. I had a boiler before, but I decided to, nah, I don't need it. I just decided to avoid the heat itself. But that's going to produce ashes. The ashes go around from the back into this electrolyzer, that when you're gonna have enough to make an carbon, it's going to be feedback into the steel furnace. So all of this is to void the carbon it produces. If one day we get a trash can to delete items, these are gonna be even more compact. Now let's go to the power generation part of it. Let's go up this stair here, and we are faced with this visual here. Let's go inside before we're gonna go blind. We have the pipe with the hydrogen goes all the way here and feed this 90 gas turbines here, and each one has a steel generator to it. I have this one here before the valve, so it is always running. So I always have a little bit of a production of power. And then it's going to cables, and then it is stored into this titanium multi-cell batteries. I have 4 segments of it, and I'm gonna place more of it on top of it because I want a huge energy storage. Each one can hold 400 electricity, so it is 1200 each one. So almost he will have almost 5,000 units of power of electricity. That are output by this cable here inside the factory itself. So let's take a look into the inside of my place here. I have made some changes, as you can see, either by the color of the machines, as this was empty, is now not so much empty. This one here is to actually make the basalt into those 5 outputs here. Even though into the previous video I show you the ore quarry, so to get titanium oxide is not that difficult. To make the titanium itself, it's actually more complicated because the solutions to make it require manganese, and manganese don't have much ways to get it. We can electrolyze in pure iron dust or from basalt itself. So if I want to just make titanium, the best option would be to have several of the setups here to produce it, because each time it works it produces 0.1 titanium and 0.1 manganese. So, and also gonna get some aluminum and chrome from bonus. So in theory, if I have a huge setup to make this, I would not need to turn any iron into manganese and chrome. This is gonna provide me more than enough for it. I'm gonna show this later. I need to actually finish my farm setups. As you see, we have those holes into the farms, and that's not good. Not good indeed. They diminish the amount of pumpkins we get, and also look ugly as heck. So let's just replenish them for now. But doing it every time manually is not good. That's why we made those items, these block places from the last episode. But we also cannot go too overboard with it for this moment. That's why I'm gonna just place it right here. Damn, there is a lot of it. There was seriously a huge amount of it that was taken down. There is more here. No, just glitching because my game can't keep it up. Well, the side is completed and I used 14. So 14 farms has been removed from the play. And here we have even more. Oh my god. Just showing you one side. Now we have made the system using the pneumatic pipes to actually replenish itself. But because I made this system here, this farm here into that round shape, we have less space inside, so it was very troublesome to actually put all the pipe into the system here. One problem we have with this system is because I need to have extra, because these ones have an inventory for one item. So if I want to have one farm on the top always and one into the place to be placed when the space open, when the army harvests it, when it should not, I actually need to have a good amount of extras, one for each one. So believe it or not, this farm can actually have about 84 farm blocks. And make sure to check if you are placing everything correctly, because after you have placed it, if you need to check any pipe, you're gonna have to break a lot of stuff. See, like here, I misplaced it. I can. The slowdown is really forgive me. And this is the last one. And of course, last one I have to place it on the wrong orientation. And this one as well. I have made a system that when it receives a farm like here, it's gonna be placed into this aluminum pretty much input. For now it is empty. So let's put the amount in it. 64. 18. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This will be enough to... Gosh. 32, 32, 64. That's all. That's one for each block. So all I have to do is to actually just connect the pressure air here, and probably gonna see it starts to travel from the pipes. If I place it correctly. But it seems I did not. At the very first block. Now let's go into all the block places. So whenever one farm is harvested, it's gonna be replaced immediately. And this is in below here. You pick any farm from the conveyors and replace here to be injected into the system. Now this side here would never actually get out of farms. Need to remove this titanium tool with this leg. A single one can make all the system stop. I have to fix those breakpoints later on. There is missing one here. This one here is the last lock place. I even have put some it faces the conveyor, so in the case that if I have put one extra, it's just going to go back into the system. Another one missing. And it seems we have some extra. But now everything should have an extra to be placed when the farming got harvested and when it should not. So this side here, it is automated. What are you facing this scaffold at your side? Here we have our little pumpkin arrived to be processed. All I have to do is to connect the other side of it. But that is more easily because I have already placed most of it. And because this has more space inside because it was wall format more squared, it has no problem to be inserted. So let's give it the pumpkins to work. Let's see from the top if you can actually watch this getting be fixed by itself. There goes one. I don't think it's gonna make it all the way because that is so much. Let's chill out a little and see if this is gonna be. It's going to be fixed by itself. It's going to be kind of a failure. I hope it's going to succeed. Yes, I have placed in a pipe that is wrongly placed and I did not realize. Yes, seems to be the case. Sorry, I have to lower it. It's missing one. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. Fix. 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 That's much better. Don't need to do this manually. Strangely, my bamboo farm is actually behaving. Normally it was here that some farms already vanished, but not seems to be the case here. Everything is getting fixed. I thought it was going to. Yeah, sometimes I forgot to place the correct input. And this causes slowdowns into the delivery. Replacing this transport system into my base would be a good idea if we had enough options to actually filter most of the stuff, but we don't have it. That's not nearly enough. So why aren't you? I'm asking why aren't you delivering the pumping into the system? Once we have enough pumpkin farms for every one of it, we could stop the production using the water wash to get more dirty and the extra organic PC, because the extra is going to actually gonna reduce the input, the creation of power. And we're still missing some. Let's see if this is gonna be enough for it to finish. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am missing one. I can't believe this. I am missing a single one. That is very pathetic. One thing about the farm that I did not explain is because we can actually stack the farms on top of each other. You see, you can just come here and run pipes on top of it and make the same setup of pipes on top of this existing one. So I could actually have layers of farms into a single place and have only one system of pipes to actually feed everything. Maybe into a future, another season of it into the future, I might do that instead of doing this two separated farms. Make one big stacked farm. Now let's finish that. Need to make the remaining batteries and actually finish up the setup. Let's make the last check. Yes, missing just a single one. There's one here. This is going to complete the farm. Both farms are now self-sustained and don't need any supervision. Let's go inside of a little big workshop here. Let's got some sodium, let's got some sulfur, let's got some titanium, and making some batteries for me. I have replaced almost every machine into the side here with a titanium tier of it. Since now we have so much of it and the production is just a question of just let it be produced. There is no reason to actually keep myself from having it. It seems I might require more of it. "12 titanium molten salt batteries. That's a lot of batteries, but this is going to be the final push to restoration of power. After that, I don't think you're gonna require to expand it more than it has been already. But I'm also gonna require something to just keep it a little bit of aesthetics. I'm gonna make 4 titanium coils just to make it more beautiful. And as you can see by this display here, I placed some stainless steel terminal just to show me the amount of each item I have here, even though it's not very precise. 1k. 1k how much? 1k 6996. This one is a low number, but there's not much I can do about it at this little point. And after having that, I'm gonna head down the little setup here with the more interesting variety of it. Because I discovered that I despise the conveyor belts have been conveyor belts in junctions being very useful to take items into a longer distance. After a while, they can be kind of problematic. We have the batteries, so let's place them down. I need to do just go here, remove this cable, and place the new batteries here, here, and here. And with that we have added more than 1000 units of electricity to our storage here. One thing that I kind of don't like this is that we don't have the extra hit point here, so you only have 3 here. But I was thinking to place a aluminum battery here into this little part here to connect to the others. So what do you think? This is better, or just having a cable is enough for it? The problem with those kind of batteries is that they blind you when you look at it. Power is slowly going, so let's turn on all the gas turbines. Now power is flowing on. But even though here we have nine gas turbines with 9 steel generators, this is like a low setting for it, because I just said it is stainless steel and steel generator. If I made a titanium gas turbine and a titanium generator, it alone will probably overpower all this we have here, because each tier of generation of power, the time to produce power diminishes by 50%, so all the way to the top. So here's 50% faster, 50% faster. Gonna make it almost 3 times the power generation of it, so a single one can replace 3 of it. And that's a good thing to actually do about it. Now let's take out the item. It's expensive just to make it look beauty. Simply gonna place it on top of each one, just to make it look like a multi-block. Just decoration. We expanded titanium to make it look good. But when mineral and process is not a problem, this is what happens. Damn it! And I need sunglasses to be able to look at it. Come on, don't. Can you tell they look very okay with this kind of setup here? This one has not yet started to fill up. Not this one. But this one here is slowly filling up. Still missing something to actually be able to make the steel generator. It seems to be more titanium, more rods. Yep, we can now make one. Now let's try to replace this one here, that is before the valve. Right, I forgot to actually show you. So hold your horses for a little bit more. Funnily enough, my system here can actually keep up with the consumption of all these turbines without any trouble. As you see here, we actually gain some biomass while the system is running with its capacity. This is making hydrogen non-stop. This is feeding the gas turbines. This is making biomass into methane. And this one here is gain biomass. So this actually can keep those 90 gas turbines running without any trouble. I can actually just flick it open as it is and forget. But let's test to see how much fast this is going to be if I place it the stainless steel turbine with a titanium one. Like this, and place the titanium generator like this. It's 3 times simple. And still has space for the upgrades. So this is making an insane amount of power. Power is going up very quickly now. Now if I wanted to process some minerals, I would have no trouble to do so. Power is not a concern anymore. Alright, let's talk about the changes here. As you see, the deployer conveyor junctions and belts are useful to carry items around here, but that is a big problem that you probably realize with this little with our dryers. To see the low amount of items it receives to make into the coal dust loses space into the conveyor belt. Doesn't matter how much quantity it has. It has even if it has 0.001 or an entire unity, it's going to consume the same amount of space that it has. So if I remove this little access there, you're soon gonna see that it will start to clog the conveyor belt itself. This one here is already full. It's going to actually clog the entire system. That's one weakness of this little conveyor belt. It treats all items equally. It don't stack them or anything. I already had some times when my system here got clogged here with this conveyor belt because when I was using the steel racks, the amount of stainless steel I had made made it full, so the conveyors got it completely full with the plates of stainless steel, not allowing any new plates to be inserted and can be extracted, so it clogged the system. What I'm proposing here is a different approach to it. Instead of using conveyor belts, let's replace it with something different. So let's change this little setup a bit. Let's put this up here, and let's remove you right here, right here, and right here. But I'm still going to use one of you to split. Unfortunately, the system that I have it thinking about it does not allow it to split it evenly, so I still going to use conveyor junctions to split the items, but instead of using belts and deployer lines, I'm gonna use buffers, chassis buffers, to make the connection to it all the way. So like this. This one is already connected. Kind of like this. Why? The reason is quite simple. The buffer chassis are like chassis, so it has a slot here that even if it is received different amount of items like here, they are not gonna clog the system itself. Let's try to show you here. As you remember before, when I disconnected this place here, all the items start to get clogged. But instead of using conveyors, I use the buffer chest. Like this. You're going to see that this one here is actually receiving the small amounts of coal that is getting from the system here. So even though we cannot output here, it will not clog the system until this has been completed, making an entire stack of it. To this case here, using this type of chassis buffer, we're gonna make a huge amount of space for it to before getting clogged. And when I open the gates, everything continues to go as well. Here I use the copper buffer chassis to go into the machine here. While into the machine I have a larger buffer chassis. For example, if I make an entire line of stainless steel or titanium, let's say let's say stainless steel, because I have no trouble into building more of it. Each stainless steel buffer has 4 slots. So before the system become clogged, I require to have more than 4 types of item, and each type need to be an entire stack of it. So it's gonna take a longer, very much longer to get clogged instead of adjusting a small amount that the conveyors can actually handle. So by replacing it, replace the conveyors junction and with the buffers, we actually make it more resilient to the changes and to be clogged. I was for sure that I had selected the pipe. While I still require to have a conveyor junction to split items. To receive the items, I don't require it. I only need to actually just have a buffer to receive everything. Like I can make this little setup here. Just fixing it. Like this. All items going to arrive here into this one here. So I just need to place the stacker on top of it, and it's going to be complete. If I place this aluminum here, the iron here, and the copper here, but I still need to actually fix it. It's still facing the wrong way. Like this. All arrived here, and because this heavy, each branch of it has an entire stack of item slot. This is going to take a lot longer to actually become clogged. And I can place something here to make it look more nice. I hate when the cursor keeps jumping. My intention is on the future replace these junctions that go up here with the pneumatic version of it, with having pipes and inputs here to actually send the items into the outer settings. But that is just a future plan. I kind of like this kind of design here. And I can put a small decoration here on top here, like placing all the types of scaffold. And because those are not the full blocks, I can actually climb on top of it. This is basically the base of it. Our little production of it. This is also a big example here. As you can see here, each one of these cocky blocks are using one space into the conveyor belt. So all this conveyor belt here is just holding 3 blocks. 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here. If I replace everything with the buffer chassis, they are going to get stacked into a single one, and to actually clog it all the way here, it would have to have entire stacks in each one of the buffer. So when we have enough to actually build those buffers with no trouble, it is actually better. If you can go into a straight line, you can also use stackers. They have even more slots to it, but different from the buffer that can receive items from any side of it into output into one side. Stackers only receive from the back, so they can't make curves like this one here can. Alright. I have made this little change to my smelting area here. I decided to have an arc furnace in the middle, and on each side have a item rack to receive it, because I had a lot of dust here actually clogging the system. So this way each arc furnace can smelt 2 types of item without any problem in having a huge storage for it. Like this one here is copper, and this one is steel, cast iron. So this one can make copper and steel. This one can make steel and aluminum. And this one can make aluminum and stainless steel. So everything is covered up. I also changed my setup here to process the manganese and chrome oxide. In the middle here we still have the material to make titanium dust. In each side here we have something to receive the manganese and combine into the thermal version, and on the side the solid furnace to actually takes out. Into this little case here, I'm going to place it into the system. But into the other side here, this is going to make the chrome, put into the furnace to get it started, put into this item rack, and in the sequences we already have the mixer to make chrome into stainless steel. So it is more compact here and straightforward with less item going to the conveyor belt than before. And here we're gonna have made a alloy smelter to make the brass ingots. I did not saw this recipe before to make the brass ingot. I thought that the brass can only be made into by the mixer, but that is wrong actually. We can actually make into the alloy smelter and it is already cooked. So into a certain kind of the way, this one is cheaper than this one here. The brass dust has no use aside it, so that is little reason. And here we're gonna have an assembly to turn the brass ingot into the brass details. There is no other use to it aside making blocks for now. And those details are used to make all the pneumatic pipes version and pneumatic inputs. So that is a reason for me to actually want them to exist. And I just replaced every alloy smelter with a titanium version, and which one have induction coil below it to have it use less power than before. But as you saw with my furnace, power is not actually an issue as much it was before. I still need to actually upgrade all the generators to a better version if I want it to have a very strong input of it. And since we have a problem here, Houston, that's strange. That should not happen. I guess need to give it a little more power. And here in the rooftop of the power plant, I also made some space here to put solar panels to have a passive generation of power. Have space for a lot of solar panels. I can make enough solar panels, titanium solar panels needed to actually have a decent generation of power passively, because different from the normal solar panels that produce into 1 second, because the titanium is the up version, it's gonna produce faster. Than the normal version, and they also have a slot for upgrade so they can produce power even faster. Well, I really hope that more people would watch my streams and comment more about the game. This game is very fun to actually play. It has been giving me a lot to think about it. But I can't ask too much of it. I am playing without any video card, and I am not a very fun to watch, I guess I should say. Let's test to see if this works. We don't even see the items arriving here. Oh, I guess this is not fast enough to actually input it. Those the different types of buffers have different speeds. Like here the army is putting mineral amounts into the conveyor. Oh, I guess you already have understood what I meant to it. I was kind of worried this is gonna consume too much copper, but to tell the truth, it is not as fast as it was. I think it was. This is a titanium version of it. If it is just the steel version, it's gonna be very slow to actually make the brass. So I could have a good restock of brass here without much worrying about it. Well then, people, I guess we're gonna have another live stream episode about the last changes into my base here, and I think I'm gonna actually wrap up this series. Going to upload my map when I done with it, to see if anyone want to actually check it out the building I have made here. I have played for a very long time this game. Too much actually. Well then, this is Zongod. Thank you for watching.